The testimony of Delilah.
I am Delilah. My story is known across generations as one of betrayal, a woman who seduced and deceived the strongest man in Israel, Samson. But my story is not just about Samson's fall. It is also about choices, the lure of wealth, and the emptiness of a life spent chasing power and riches. Let me tell you my story, not to justify my actions, but so you can learn from my mistakes. Perhaps you've been tempted to compromise your values for gain. If so, my story is for you. I first met Samson in the Valley of Sorek. He was unlike any man I had ever seen, strong, confident, and reckless. His fame as a judge of Israel had reached even the Philistines, and I saw in him an opportunity. I was a Philistine, raised among a people who despised Israel. But Samson's infatuation with me gave me an advantage. I knew how to use my charm to get what I wanted, and Samson was no exception. The rulers of the Philistines came to me with an offer. Lure Samson into showing you the secret of his great strength so we can overpower him. Each of us will give you 1,100 shekels of silver. The price was staggering, a fortune beyond anything I had ever imagined. I agreed. I told myself it was just business, that I had no obligation to this man from Israel, but deep down I knew the truth. I was trading loyalty and honor for wealth and power. I thought I could control the situation, but I underestimated the cost of my betrayal. I began to press Samson for the secret of his strength. I said, "Tell me the secret of your great strength and how you can be tied up and subdued." 3 times he lied to me. First he said fresh bowstrings would bind him, then new ropes, then weaving his hair into a loom. Each time I called the Philistines to capture him, but he broke free. Frustrated, I said to him, "How can you say you love me when you won't confide in me? This is the 3rd time you've made a fool of me." I used his love for me as a weapon, manipulating him until he finally gave in. Samson told me everything. He said, "No razor has ever been used on my head because I have been a Nazirite dedicated to God from birth. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me." That night, as he slept on my lap, I had his hair cut. I called the Philistines, saying, "Come back once more, he has told me everything." When he awoke, he said, "I'll go out as before and shake myself free." But he didn't realize that the Lord had left him. I watched as they captured him, gouged out his eyes, and led him away in chains. For all my wealth, I couldn't silence the guilt that weighed on my heart. I thought the silver would bring me happiness, but instead, it brought emptiness. Samson's strength was a gift from his God, and I had helped take it from him. The Philistines mocked him, paraded him in chains, and treated him like an animal. I heard what happened in the temple of Dagon. Samson, blinded and broken, prayed to his God for strength one last time. He brought down the temple, killing thousands of Philistines, and himself. My betrayal led to my people's ruin and the death of the man I had deceived. The price of my actions was far greater than I ever imagined. My story is a warning about the dangers of greed and manipulation. I traded trust for wealth, and in the end, I gained nothing of lasting value. If you are tempted to compromise your integrity for worldly gain, stop and consider the cost. What seems like a reward today can become a curse tomorrow.
Delilah's story shows us how dangerous it is to use our influence for selfish gain, and how our choices can shape the downfall of others. What does her story stir in you? Let's talk about it in the comments.